Hi guys, I'm October, but you can call me Toby. Thanks for coming to spend some time with me today. This might be a little bit of a shorter vlog. I don't have any hugely specific topics to talk about today, but I did just want to make a little vlog coming up to Christmas time, and it helps me space out my crafty videos and gives me a bit more time to get things done as well, which is very much needed in this busy time period. I'm currently working on a few videos at once, always a few at once. Currently working on a lion amigurumi pattern. So I've made this pattern up fully myself, which is sort of new for me. I did do a Totoro pattern previously, but that was very small. So this is my little Totoro that I made, and I worked out the pattern and worked out how to make the eyes firm but soft with felt on my own, and I'm really happy with how he came out. He's very cute. So yes, this lion is the biggest thing in terms of a plushie that I've created for myself. Little sneak peek here. There's some really cute little aspects to him, and I'm really happy with how he's coming out. It is a he because it does have a mane, which I've been working on. The way that I'm doing the mane is time intensive, but this was how I imagined it and how I wanted to do it. I'm going to continue adding mane on to him, so that's why my hands will be moving around. This lion amigurumi, like, it popped into my head. I've got nieces and nephews and things. We recently did a zoo trip for my son's birthday. Well, recently. Feels recent, it was back in October. He wanted to go to the zoo, so we did that. And one of my little nephew's favourite animals is lions at the moment, and that made me want to try my hand at creating a lion for him in crochet. So that's what I'm doing, why I'm making this one a lion. I have another one I want to make in January for his sister. That will be a fantasy creature, and the colour palette might be a little unusual for that given her favourite colours, but perhaps I'll do a couple versions, or like a trial one and then hers in the right colours. So yeah, something to look forward to in January. But I'm wondering how this Christmas season is going for you guys, because it's moving very fast here. It has just absolutely blitzed by. There's not enough time. Basically, it feels like there's just never enough time at the moment, which is really funny because I remember how it used to feel like such a long time between holidays. And when I was young, we didn't necessarily celebrate Halloween as much as we do now, and so it wasn't really considered like a big holiday. We don't do Thanksgiving here. Australia Day is in January, so that's like coming up later. One second, I gotta let the cat in. Here is Kenzie for the day. She's grumpy. Not in the mood to be picked up, apparently. Alright, well, she'll be in the background. If there's any odd noises, it'll be her doing. Or if anything falls over behind me. Time is just passing so quickly, and there's always so much to do. And it just feels like I'm finding like my son's a lot more into Christmas this year. He's a lot more aware of it and excited about it than he has been in previous years, which is really nice. He was so excited to put up the tree, and we did that a couple of weeks ago now, or a couple of weekends ago. We have a fake tree. We don't have a real Christmas tree, and that's just personal preference. I grew up with a fake tree, but I also have quite a lot of hay fever and stuff, so I think a live pine tree in the house would drive me insane. The last few days have been crazy. Today we had gymnastics, and then we went to an indoor playground because it was not too bad a UV today, but it wasn't particularly sunny. It kind of felt like it was going to rain. We spent some of the afternoon at an indoor playground after coming home for lunch and stuff from gymnastics, and yeah, it's a crazy time of year. It's getting hot here. I know in a lot of other places it's cooling down, and everyone just seems so busy at the moment. It's interesting how it's like so joyful for some, and for others it's like stressful. And I guess that's how you look at it and your experiences you've had with it, really. I don't know, my son's been so into Christmas this year. It's just made it a lot more enjoyable, and made it feel a lot more lighthearted than usual. And yeah, as I was saying, we set the tree up. Sorry to go on a tangent there. We set the tree up not last weekend, the one before, I think. and I got some footage of that because he helped me put the tree together. It comes in 3 big parts. It's preset with lights. I wanted to do that because I remember putting lights on was like one of the most fiddliest, worst things about setting up the tree when I was younger. So we got one that the lights, you kind of just plug in each tier of the tree and plug the lights in and it's lit up. And yeah, he was so excited, handing me like the different tiers, trying to work out which one was the base and which one's the top. And as soon as that was done, he was like, let's put the baubles on. I wanna decorate. And so yeah, I got some footage of him. He just jumped straight into it. I think I did like just the very top tier of the tree that he couldn't really reach because he's fairly tall. He can reach most of it now. It's not a huge tree. But yeah, he just absolutely blitzed putting these baubles and decorations on the tree. And each year we let him pick out his own new bauble or decoration to go on the tree. We even made some additional ones just the other day. They're quite cute. They're little like pom-pom reindeers. I'll pop in a photo for you. And as soon as we were finished making them, he dashed off to put them on the tree. I don't think the hot glue had even fully dried. So I was slightly worried about him burning himself, but he's just been loving decorating this tree and getting out decorations for the house. We, on a trip to Spotlight, which is the craft store, it's a pretty common craft store here. It's a chain one. And one of our trips there earlier in the month, they of course have all the Christmas decor out and they had nutcrackers out, and he was pretty interested in them last year too, but I wasn't committing to buying one last year because he was quite destructive. But this year he was just so into them, so I got him a nutcracker this year and he has absolutely adored that. We even got him a little advent calendar. It's bluey themed, and yeah, he decorated the tree so quickly, and he did it really well actually. Like, I sort of thought he might decorate a couple of spots of the tree, if that makes sense, like clumping the decorations together, but he was fairly even with it when I stepped back. And he keeps asking me, where's our star for the tree? He's really stuck on this, like we need a star for the tree. So we haven't been out to get his bauble just yet. We're trying to line that up so that we can go out as a family and do it like we usually do. That's sort of where we're at with Christmas. Yes, and the year has just flown by. I can't believe it's already mid-December, which is just madness. Like, where did the time even go this year? I don't know, I'm coming up like on a year on having my channel up as well. I mean, it's not till I think it's April. It was April when I started. So April next year will be a year of the channel being up, which is also really wild. It's been a crazy, crazy year. Lots of learning and yeah, new things. So what I'm doing currently is actually separating fibers. So I take a piece of yarn and separate the fibers out, and that's how I'm making the mane, which is why this is kind of labor and time intensive. But that's how I pictured the line in my head, and so that's what I wanted to do. I was considering making a mane using the chenille yarn, just doing sort of little spirals, like, let me show you what I mean, like the spirals that Spidey's legs are made up of. So if you can imagine these, but finer, and they would have been in the dark yarn all over the head. That could make a really cute mane as well, but it just wasn't what I pictured in my head. So I am going this route with yarn and fibers. I actually did consider, it would have been even more labor intensive, but I did consider actually brushing out these fibers and straightening them using a straightener, like a hair straightener with heat. So I did consider doing that, which is even more labor intensive, but that is how I get how I make hair for my dolls a lot of the time. I really like acrylic yarn fiber for doll hair. It looks very much like our hair looks on us, but on a doll scale, which is really lovely. The downside to it is that because you are reducing the yarn back to its fibers, you can get a lot of, if you were playing with it, brushing it, tugging on it, you can get a lot of the fibers coming out. And I was worried about that becoming an issue for my nephew. Like, I didn't want him to have a balding line stuffy, but I also didn't want him potentially, you know, choking on fibers or pulling fibers off, or even just breathing in fibers. I just didn't want that to even be a possibility for him. So yeah, I went with using the larger, well, just the unwound wine essentially. I think I'll be trimming this up. We'll see how it looks when it's like completely full. There's a little bald patch left in the top, which is where I'm going to film the process of doing this, because I was not too sure in doing this if this was what I wanted to go with, or if I wanted to do the chenille like circles or do something else, even just like chains and then slip stitched back along them, you know, doing that enough times to fill a head. You could do that instead, but again, this is what I pictured, so this is what I'm doing, and hopefully you guys will like it too. But I mean, you don't have to do it. If you choose to get the pattern and make this, you can do something else, because there's plenty of different ways to create hair effects with yarn. Yeah, I don't know if this is like, I think this is a more time intensive one, to be honest, but I haven't done any of the other versions with an amigurumi before, so I'm not really sure if they would be more or less time intensive, honestly. Maybe they would have been even slower, since they would be new to me, whereas this is something I've done many times before, although usually I work in wefts, which is like gluing the yarn together to make wefts, which I then glue onto wig caps and things. I do have a video I want to make shortly, making a wig for one of my dolls. She's been sitting there for a year and a half or something with her face painted, her face up's done, like putting in the details and line work and stuff on her face, but she needs her wig. I did make her a wig out of clay, but the idea was cute. I used a different face sculpt on her to sculpt it on her so that I didn't damage any of the work I'd painted onto her face. And yeah, it didn't work with her open-eyed faceplate. Worked nicely with her sleeping faceplate, but not her open-eyed one. It just covered up too much of the detail in the face. So I want to make her a yarn wig, which is my preferred wig style and fibre for doll hair. But yeah, the line amigurumi as well opens up something where I'm like, I'm creating the pattern for this, you know, using knowledge I've gotten throughout the years of making different things, and working with different stitches and how things look and turn out, but it opens up the whole idea of what am I going to do with my patterns. Do I just offer them all for free? Do I sell them? You know, do I, coming into the new year, I really want this channel to do well, but it needs to continue doing it. It needs to provide some sort of income, I do believe. So yeah, looking into what I want to do with the patterns that I'm creating, the things I'm making. There will come a point when I just have too many things and I'm needing to have something better to do with them than sit them around my house. So things like giveaways and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm chatting about a lot of this stuff with Penny and with my hubby, who sort of, you know, helps me talk through and make decisions on life in general. And the idea of something like a Patreon has come up a few times, and looking into that, it does seem quite viable. Like, you can offer the different membership tiers, you can sell things as individual items. Yeah, it seems like not too bad of a solution. So starting to look into that type of thing as well. Let me know if that would interest anyone, and what you might like to have access to. If I were to start a Patreon, what would you expect to get out of it if you were to be a paid member? That would be really good to know. If you've got any input. I was thinking things like, you know, sneak peeks of upcoming videos, ideas, having members pick out specific designs, or pick out like what the next amigurumi might be, things like that. Like, instead of just asking in general, like, oh, what do people want to see, it would be kind of a little bit more member driven. So, and then also like coming up with fun names for tiers and stuff, you know, that's always a bit more fun than the sort of work feeling side of it, where you have to work out what to do with it. But yeah, if Patreon is something you would be interested in, what would you like to see, or what would you like to have access to if I were to do a Patreon? Very curious to know. So let me know in the comments down below. Same night, different hour. But I'm going to be working on a little bit of the sculpting for my landscape video for the Hollow Knight series that I've been doing. I've made so far Might and Mighty Mouse, who is my own little creation and what I thought I saw in the game. So I've made these two. And in the video that came out last weekend, or the second video of the series, depending on when you're watching this, I made Hornet and the Knight. And now I'm working on a little landscape. Well, I say little, but relative to their size, it's going to be kind of large. I'm going to be working on a landscape for these two. And the idea is to have her sitting up and him kind of like approaching. And yeah, I've been working on this for a little bit now. I sort of took a break to work on my lion as well, because that's an upcoming video too. I so far have made some elements for the landscape, including these fun coloured rocks. So I'm going to smooth them out a little more. They need also engraving on them, which I can do into the wet clay or the unbaked clay. I've also made a couple of the little, I have no idea what these are in game, but they're like stands with little mossy sections on them. So I made a couple of them as well. I might make more, I'll see how it's looking. And I have a lovely array, hard to show. Here, let me pour some into my hand so you can see. Lovely array of what looks like candy, but will be pebble stones. Just out of leftover clay. The reason everything is such fun colours and there are different layers of colours underneath of these is because I am using up the coloured clay that I had. I don't make things without the intention of painting them anyway, so the coloured clay is kind of just to be used regardless of colour in my case. The landscape overall, I've shown it in the videos, but like this is the image I had in my head, and so that's what I sort of sketched up and what I'm working towards with these different parts. So what I'm going to do now is just bulk out these rocks, make them a little rounder and smoother because they're a bit awkwardly shaped, referencing the images I have up on screen on my computer. I need to just smooth these out just a little bit. This is a 3D sculpture, so I do want it to look right from all the angles and not just front on, which will make taking photos of it fun if it turns out well. But yeah, this video will be, the plan is to have this one out the weekend after Christmas because it should be a pretty chill video. I think it'd be a nice one to watch after all the chaos of Christmas. So that's the plan, that this one will be a nice chill landscape sculpting and painting video. If you're liking, or if you liked my Mighty Mouse, if you want to see some fun sculpting videos, that's a series I've got going. I've got other sculptures I've made like Derpy Tiger and Ichika from the Spilled Ink channel. Yeah, there's an array of sculpting and crochet videos at the moment, and I'm wanting to open up the crafts I'm doing to include more stuff, but that'll come in the new year. At the moment I'm really enjoying sculpting because I've been doing quite a bit of crochet this week, working on the lion. I'm actually missing sculpting, which is kind of funny because I thought it could be nice to take a little break from it and do a bit of crochet, but kind of the opposite. I'm finding myself reaching for it and missing it. I just have the itch to make some little fun figurines, kind of like chibi stylistic ones. I don't know, maybe that'll be a future video. It's just something that's kind of there for me right now where I'm like, oh, I would very much enjoy doing that. And they turn around pretty quickly when they're smaller as well, which is always really nice. I think that's a bit better. Bulk it out a bit more down here. Just looking to like round them off a little bit. They're a little bit oddly shaped. I know they're meant to be rocks, boulders, probably pebbles if you slice them up to human standards, but yes, they do need to be a little smoother so I can carve into them. But yeah, I just thank you to everyone who watched Might and Mighty Mouse being sculpted, and I do hope that if you're enjoying my videos that you'll subscribe so that you don't miss out on things like the Knight and Hornet, because we got a lot of views but not that many subs. I think I'm gonna leave this one for now. This one's pretty fine. It's like fairly rounded and it's smaller. I'll just bulk out some bits quite a bit and leave it at that. I can sand them down to a degree. It looks pretty defined in the images, so I could cut into them to to engrave it. If just going back to the niggling idea I have in my head of creating little critters, whether they be just animals in general. I don't know, I'd like to have something themed. So I'm trying to think of what I want to do. Whether I want it to be like random animals or if I want it to be specific animals, or like I've seen some people doing, you know, going through the ABC, creating different animals to cover out, like to fill up the ABC. Things like that. That doesn't specifically appeal to me just because I've seen it done so many times. If you've got any little critters that you would like to see made in a stylized chibi form, pop them down in the comments. I'd be curious to see what some other people's ideas are on it. The other thing I wanted to try out, oh, this is a very pigmented dark green. There are these little plants, I'm gonna loosely call them plants, and I was thinking that I should sculpt a few of them as well. And then all of the foliage, I've got to work out how to do all of this foliage as well. But yes, lots to do for this landscape. I think it's going to be a lot of fun working out how to make all these different little elements and then how to put them all together. I did pop out and get just a wooden board, which I've got stuff sitting on. That's going to be the main structure for my base to build up off of. And I think I'll start the base off in a stone clay. So we'll see how that goes. Then I'll give it a lot of like weight in the base, which will be really good. So then I can build up on top of it and have these elements on top in the polymer clay, which can be baked and hardened that way. And then I can kind of just build it all together, I guess. I just will have to keep in mind not to put the whole thing in the oven because I don't think the wooden board or the stone clay will react very well to that. Something else I tend to have to do during the week before I can film, like I talked earlier about, you know, I gotta balance mum duties and creating content, filming, audio, taking photos, all the different little bits and pieces that go into making videos, and making sure that my nails look somewhat decent is part of that now, because I've been wearing polish for a while now, and I enjoy having my nails painted, but it's added an additional element. So I'll take a moment to work on my nails again. If anyone is curious what I use on my nails, it tends to be, well, it's only really Holo Taco, which is the nail brand Simply Nailogical, brought out quite a few years ago now. She's been in business as a nail polish company for a few years now. And yeah, I watched her content way back when she was still making regular content on Simply Nailogical, and was very excited to hear that she had come out with her own polish, because who better to come out with a polish line than someone who's so enthusiastic about it. And I just adore the colors, and there's so many options now. Like, honestly wish I could buy more of them, but I've got plenty in my current set. But doing my nails is something I do. Look, I try and just do them once a week if I can get away with it. But with cleaning the house, living life with a 3-year-old, a boisterous, outgoing 3-year-old, gardening, being in parks, and, you know, the tribulations of life, my nails tend to have it pretty rough, honestly. My hands overall have it pretty rough. I do a lot of sculpting as well, and crafting, and just lots of stuff with my hands, obviously. Yeah, I like being able to do them myself and mess around with things and make sponging on different colors and getting gradients is really, really fun. So I'm really enjoying doing my nails for videos, actually. It's fun to think what videos I've got lined up and kind of theme my nails a little bit in some way or another. It's kind of nice to feel like I have a little bit of me time in there, where I just get to paint my nails, pick out some nice colours and have them feel not so bland and boring. But yes, I am going to continue on working on these rocks, sculpting up some little plant shapes, working on different aspects of this landscape that I can do in the polymer clay and bake. I need to get started on that base and building that up as well, so that I have something to put these on. Hornet has a needle, so I need to work on her needle, and the Knight has his nail, so I need to keep working on this as well. I need to sand that down and get it to the right shape, because it's a little on the fat and flat side. Needs a little bit more definition. So I'll keep working on all this stuff, Thanks for joining me for the vlog today. I hope you enjoyed this little look into how life goes day to day and week to week for me. There's quite a bit of behind the scenes stuff this time, so hopefully that was fun for you too. You got to have a look at some of the upcoming videos and what I'm thinking about. I hope you've enjoyed spending this little bit of time with me and taking a little bit of time out of your day to do something a little bit more relaxing. I hope your Christmas and New Year's is relaxing and that you can spend time with your loved ones and just chill out and that it's not stressful. If you are enjoying these, do hit subscribe down below. We are looking at doing a giveaway once we get to at least 500 subs, I think. So let's get those numbers up and then we can do a couple of polls and do some sort of giveaway. I'm thinking something sculpted. All right, hope you have a great day. Thanks for joining me. Bye.